Now in this lesson we'd like to talk about nuclear weapons testing, which is by far the largest source of radiation released into the atmosphere. The major part of this lesson is going to be a documentary about testing in Australia, but I've got a few short videos before and afterwards to fill in some of the background. The first nuclear weapons test was the Trinity test in 1945 in New Mexico, USA. And since then there have been over 500 atmospheric tests of nuclear weapons by the USA, Russia, China, UK, France, and probably Israel, South Africa. They would deny it. But that's outnumbered 3 to 1 by more than 1,500 underground tests. Now, the tests went on for a long time, but in 1963 the Partial Test Ban Treaty was signed. The USA, United States, Soviet Union and the United Kingdom agreed to stop atmospheric tests. There were not any more bombs in the atmosphere, only do it underground. However, France and China continued atmospheric tests which leaked far more radiation. Underground tests are usually safer. They produce lots of radiation, but mostly it stays trapped. But in a few cases there have been leaks. A ventilation shaft blows apart and radiation gets out into the atmosphere. Then came the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty in 1996, which banned all nuclear weapon tests. Now, it's not been signed by many countries, including the USA and China, but most countries, even if they haven't signed it, have obeyed it, like the USA and China have not actually done any nuclear tests since then. However, some other countries continued testing. India and Pakistan tested nuclear weapons in 1998, luckily underground, and North Korea continues to test nuclear weapons whenever it can build them. So nowadays the weapons are tested by supercomputer simulations and not in reality, which makes some people worried they wouldn't actually work, which possibly would be a good thing. However, at the time I'm writing this, in 2023, Russia is talking about resuming nuclear weapons tests, and satellite images show that there's activity at China's nuclear test centers, so China may also be about to resume tests. Now you can see the effects of these treaties on the amount of radioactivity in the Earth's atmosphere. Now here what we're looking at is a graph of the amount of carbon-14. Now some of this is produced naturally by cosmic rays hitting the upper atmosphere. That gives you a level of 100 in this graph. But you can see that between the 1950s and 1990s there was peaking at almost double the natural amount of radioactivity in the Earth's atmosphere, and that's because of the nuclear testing. So there was a very sharp rise. The purple line is the northern hemisphere, a station in Austria, and the southern hemisphere is a station measuring it in Wellington, New Zealand for the southern hemisphere. And you can see the amount climbed sharply, peaked about 1963, the year the Partial Test Ban Treaty was signed, and has been steadily falling ever since. So this is the effect of all these testing. Now different isotopes respond differently. Carbon-14 has a long half-life, 5,800 years, so most of the decline here must be due to plants including it and taking it out of the atmosphere. Other radioactive materials have shorter half-lives and drop away more quickly, or might have longer half-lives and still be around today.